Hi kids, and tonight we're reading another story called Charlie and Topsy. Once, there was a little boy named Charlie. He lived with his mother and daddy and auntie in a house in the city. A cat called Jane and Jane's kitten, whose name was Topsy, also lived in the house. Charlie was a good boy, and everybody liked him. Everybody, that is, except Jane and Topsy, the cats. They did not like him at all. This was very sad because Charlie loved Jane and Topsy more than anything else in the world, except his mother, daddy, and auntie. He loved Jane and Topsy 1,000 times more than his electric train set, or even his enormous flashlight. Yet Jane and Topsy ran away whenever they saw him coming. And what do you think was the reason? The reason was this. Charlie liked that cat and kitten so much that he was never happy unless he was holding them tight in his arms and squeezing them all day long. Whenever he saw them running on their own four legs, he would grab them and squeeze them and bother them. Most of the time he grabbed Topsy because the kitten was little and could not run away so fast. This is Charlie, and the little kitty is Topsy. And you can see that's his electric train set, and a flashlight, and a view of the city behind him. Again and again, his mother and auntie said to him, "Charlie, put that kitten down. Don't you see that he doesn't want to be held all the time? Let him run around and play. You wouldn't like it if you were carried around all day and being hugged and squeezed. Just run around and let him chase you. A kitten loves to run and scamper and jump, but he does not like to be picked up and carried all the time." But Charlie would not listen. He picked the kitten up all the time, and he would not let him run around at all. He bothered and teased them all day long. Topsy called out, "Meow, meow," but Charlie paid no attention. He went on squeezing and teasing the poor kitten. One day, Charlie was walking around in the yard looking for Topsy. Topsy was hiding in the bushes near the fence. He was hiding because he did not want to be grabbed and squeezed all day long. Charlie saw Topsy and reached out his hands to grab the kitten. But suddenly, a great big hand grabbed Charlie. Yes, a great big hand grabbed him by his trousers and lifted him clearly off the ground and over the fence. In a great big voice called out, "Oi! What a darling little teeny tiny creature!" This must be his aunt or mother. This is Charlie letting Topsy go, and that is the great big hand grabbing Charlie by the trousers. Oh, and there's Topsy again. She appears in every one of those photos. Charlie squirmed around to see what was holding him. It was a giant little girl. She had brown hair tied with a red bow. And all in all, she was a very pretty girl. And very, very, very big. More than twice as big as Charlie's mother, daddy, or auntie, or even all three of them put together. She looked at Charlie and again she squealed. "Oh, you darling little thing. I'm going to take you home right this minute." She began to run, still holding Charlie by his trousers. She ran so fast that his head bobbled up and down. Charlie called out, "Put me down! Put me down!" But the little girl paid no attention at all. Does this remind you of someone? Yes, indeed, it reminds me of Charlie and Topsy. Because Charlie always grabs Topsy and she squirms around, but she pays no attention to what his mother and auntie tell him. Because they tell him to put the kitty down, but he doesn't listen. So that remind you of someone? That big girl? Yes, it reminds me of Charlie. And Charlie right now must feel how Topsy's feeling. "Mama, Mama," she cried. "Look what I found. It's a darling teeny little doll. And it's alive. Mama, it walks and it talks." "That's nice, dear," said the little girl's mama. "Take care not to tease it or drag it about." But the girl paid no attention. She poked Charlie in the middle of his back and said, "Walk, walk." "Ouch! Don't do that!" cried Charlie. And then she lifted Charlie high in the air and kissed him and squeezed him and hugged him till Charlie thought he could not breathe. And he did not like it, not one bit. That reminds me of Charlie and Topsy. How Topsy doesn't want to be squeezed and hugged by Charlie all day. That's exactly how she feels, Charlie. This is the little girl. Well, the giant little girl. And that's Charlie. And Topsy disappeared. She's not in the photo anymore. That's her finger, and that's her poking Charlie around. The girl ran out of the room, but came right back with an enormous piece of cake. She stuffed a piece into Charlie's face. "Look, Mama," she cried. "He can eat like a real live person. Isn't he cute?" He is a real live person. "Do you want some more, little person?" Charlie realized that he was in fact very hungry. So he reached out for the cake, but the girl held it just out of his reach. When he jumped for it, she pulled it away and laughed. "Mama," called the little girl, "may I go over and show him to Sophie?" "Please, Mama, please." The girl's mom said she might go and show Charlie to Sophie, but she mustn't stay long. Charlie kicked and cried out, "I want to go home," but the girl paid no attention. She picked him up and stuffed him in her pocket and started to run to show Sophie. There were many things in the girl's pocket. Pencils, a nail, some sharp pebbles. As the girl ran, these things bumped and knocked poor Charlie. But there was one more thing in the girl's pocket. A hole. The next thing Charlie knew, he fell through the hole and landed with a thump in the road. The girl ran on, and she never knew till she got to Sophie's house that she had lost Charlie through the hole in her pocket. As for Charlie, can you guess how fast he ran? He ran and ran and ran and never stopped till he got home. He rushed into the living room where his mother and auntie were sitting. Jane and Topsy were there as well. When they saw Charlie, they scurried behind the bookcase. "Oh, Mother! Oh, Auntie!" said Charlie, gasping for breath. "A terrible giant little girl caught me and hugged me and teased me, and I fell through a hole in her pocket, and here I am. Such a lively imagination, said Charlie's auntie to his mother. Oh, Mother, cried Charlie, I don't think Jane and Topsy will ever love me. I squeezed them and carried them about and bothered them so. Then his auntie said, Cheer up, Charlie. Go to my sewing basket, and I'll show you how to make friends with Jane and Topsy. Here you can see the little girl feeding him cake. And then you have him in her pocket, and I don't know what... I can't find the hole in her pocket to which she possibly could have fallen out of. And here's Charlie, out of breath. You can see Topsy and Jane right over there. You can see that white line, and you see a 3D figure pop up, and his mother and auntie right there. She gave Charlie a ball of yarn and fixed it so that it would not unwind. Then she told Charlie to roll it round and round in front of the bookcase. Soon a little gray paw came out, and then another, and then another, and soon Topsy was dancing around the room, chasing the ball of yarn. Sometimes Topsy danced on all four legs, sometimes on his two back ones. That must have been cute. Sometimes he jumped sideways, and sometimes he jumped straight up in the air. He seemed to be having such a good time that Jane came out from her hiding place to join the fun. Never again did Charlie grab hold of Topsy or Jane around and pay no attention when the kittens cried out, meow, meow. Since that day, Charlie has played nicely with Topsy and has done the things the kitten likes best. And now, Topsy loves Charlie more than anyone else and follows him everywhere. This is Charlie. That's Jane. That little kitten is Topsy. Then you have Charlie and Topsy walking around. And that is the end of our story. And what I have learned from that story is that whatever you do comes back around. So you should always be nice, and you should always listen to what your parents tell you, and you should never treat others or your pets badly or in a way that they will not like it. Because what goes around comes around. And that is the end of our story. Good night.